All right, hey, I'm back with you. Day Trader Rockstar here for the 10 for 1,000 watch list for the first week of 2010, January 4th. Started off Monday here. And like I said, market conditions are showing a little toppy right now. They're showing a little chance of a pullback, so we have to take that in consideration. And also remember that the focus list we develop, sometimes you're not going to take exactly every trade you see on Monday, but you want to monitor the trades. The trades I'm going to show you today are really great setups, so I think everyone's going to be happy with them. GNK is a previous shipping stock that we've traded, and again, you can see this trading out of a triangle or a wedge pattern type of thing here, and a nice move up here, and then a retracement back to the lower trend line, and that's always a very good entry level here. And we took that a couple weeks ago off of that trend line. We got it for a point, took profits into it, and it came back here last week and pulled back and bounced again right off the trend line. Now it's consolidated, nice little 4-day consolidation here, right underneath the 20-period moving average. So a break of that 4-day consolidation would be about 22.85, and that would break us out of that consolidation. I do like the area here a lot, so I'd watch for that breakout 22.85. Stochastics look good. Everything looks good on that. GNK. And again, we even zoom out all the way out. Don't forget to zoom all the way out to get a big picture here. And you can see this stock used to trade up at $67 area, so I definitely like the upside potential here on GNK. Like it a lot. So one of my favorite shippers, and one that I'll probably be getting back into. Also forming a nice inverted head and shoulders pattern here, which I like. And these are patterns within patterns, which you're going to start to see a lot. So everything about that, I like that. Here's one that I don't trade that often, but it's a great setup here. And this is I put this on here because this is a great example of a high probability setup that I like to bring to the site. High probability setup is when multiple indicators that I use. I use 5 quality indicators, and when three or more line up as a buy trigger, that becomes a high probability setup here. So we have the stochastics here oversold. We have the lower trend line support. We have a 200-period moving average underneath us. We have a deviation from the 20-period moving average, and we have a downward sloping channel. This is almost a 5 out of 5 indicator setup here. And of course, this is back here, but I wanted to show you what that looks like. So again, back here you also had a nice trend line pullback, but this, because the line, the trend line really gets developed after 2 points, the third point really confirms it. So that's the third point you're really going to trade off of. It's hard to trade it here, but here it's a much easier trade. And I didn't happen to see this at that time, but this is just a great example of something you want to get in at this point. Right now it's flagging out. Stochastics are set up, and everything is really set up here. So a break of 42.95 would break this one out of this, and that would be a buy trigger on that. Stochastics still showing great strength here. So JOSB, and again, also a great example of a high probability setup here. You'll see a lot on the site. EAT. Here's a new stock on the focus list. Brinker, restaurant stock. You can see a nice downward sloping channel, which is one good stock, or actually a good channel here, a good indicator that I trade off of, a pattern indicator. And the stochastics here are starting to turn over. We're pushing up against the upper resistance line, which is this downward sloping trend line. We're holding above the 20-period moving average. Now, again, I go through the educational part of this a lot just because I find that teaching a person to fish is much better than giving a person a fish, giving people a fish in themselves. That kind of saying goes a long way in the market. The downward sloping channel, very bullish setup here. And again, where do you get in? So you have to wait for the channel to mature a bit. And I usually wait for 3 tests of the lower trend line, 3 tests of the upper trend line. And after that, then you start to say, all right, now we're starting to set up. So I want to watch for the midpoint of this channel to start holding, and this to put in a pattern within a pattern. I want to start to look. This is going to be considered the left shoulder. I want to look for a pullback, and I want to look for a right shoulder to be put in here. And we're going to look for that 1380, 1375 area to start to hold up here. And if we start holding that midpoint line and start heading back up, I'll probably end up taking a position here. Another way of looking at this is just to break out of this flag, and that would happen at 1557. So 1557 would be the breakout there. So two ways of trading this type of setup. But either way, great company. This will head up. The object is to get the best entry possible. Next stock we have on the list here. A lot of great stocks here. Just trying to, I'm gonna just continue to roll on here. eBay. Here is a great setup here. Now eBay, again, we've hit a downward trend line here. Stochastics, again, like the most of the market, starting to turn over. We had a gap up here we moved up to. eBay has a nice channel. I mean, I would love to get eBay to come down here. Do I think it's going to happen? I don't think so. But if we do get a pullback down to the lower channel line, it's also going to line up right with the 200 period moving average, which is going to be a textbook entry there. A breakout of this, bearish bar that we had on Friday would be 24, and 24 would break us out of that trend, break us back, out of this little flag that we're forming here. This is called a bullish flag, where we get a pop and a little retracement holding above the 20. So I do think the bias is to the upside here, and I'd watch for that break of 24 to take that entry. But for any reason, you always got to keep your mind open for this channel. If we get a pullback here, this is going to be a rock star entry. And you could look to make a good hit on that stock right there, a really good hit. ERTS, catching this one early. Electronic Arts, nice wedge pattern starting to form. Again, you're seeing a lot of these stocks shape up the same way. Big bearish days on last Friday, day before New Year's, or the New Year's holiday here, and last Thursday. The same situation, lower trend line, possible pullback here. Looks like we have a good pullback here, and I would wait for this pattern to play out. ERTS, wait for the pattern to fill out there. CVX, what do we got here? Why didn't that come up here? Chevron Corp. Article in Barron's this week. Saying that they're looking for some really good things. And this one's been holding up good, very good. So I'd actually look for some upside. And Chevron looks really, really good. Just put it on our focus list. The reason I want to look at that one, I also want to look at ExxonMobil. One of the viewers emailed me in and asked about ExxonMobil. And ExxonMobil is one that we've been trading recently. And we've been trading it off of this rising trend line here. All right, and we picked it up here right under 68, when it dipped down here right in that 68 area. And it's moved up a little. We got about, but it's pulled back again on last Thursday, pulled back, and we're still holding this trend line. But what I could see here, the stochastics are showing a little bearish tendencies here, really not moving up on the stochastics. And what we could see here, if you have a good eye for the market, if you zoom out here, you see this downward trend line coming all the way back, and it comes back to that 66, 65 area. I could easily see in a little shakeout here, a breakthrough of this downward trend line and a pullback to that 66, 66.50 area. And this would be a screaming buy for me. A screaming buy if we get a pullback here any further. I'm holding ExxonMobil right now, but I would love to get a pullback to the 66.50. I would definitely be adding to my position there. So I think ExxonMobil is definitely a buy between 66.50 and the 68. I mean, if you're going to look for that push up, tough call if you want to start buying here and holding if you get that flush down. But either way, you're going to have a good opportunity on ExxonMobil coming up. And that's the object of this, bringing you quality stocks that are set up, having the patience to wait for your price targets to come into play, and then taking the trades and taking the profits. And like I said, it's easy for us to get into a stock. We have the patience, the discipline to get into the stock. The hardest thing is not getting too greedy and taking the profits off the table. It's going to be a wonderful, wonderful new year. Very excited. I want to continue on with some more stocks here. Take a look at Joy Global here. And Joy Global, another nice downward channel here. Stochastics are not set up yet. Love to see a pullback here. Love to see this pullback. And even watch this pullback to this little support line here. Again, these will all be focused on the focus list this week. So if you tune in, you hear me covering these stocks daily. But a pullback to that 48 area will have me in on this. That'll be a multiple indicator setup, and that'll be a great entry level on Joy Global on that one. And I got a few more stocks here I want to send out to you. I got actually another watch list But I wanted to do a special watch list and send it out to the public here, show you exactly what you're getting each day on the 10 for 1,000 watch list and exactly what you will get on the station. So we'll leave off on this last thing. Dell was a great trade. We called 1480 as resistance. It moved up to 1480. It hasn't broken through yet. Looking for Dell to break that 1480 and move up and close this gap here. Again, we'll talk more about this on the next video. I hope you enjoy that, and stay tuned for that next video.